Hi, everybody. I'm here today because I just watched a video that was a wonderful reminder to me about the energy that we're experiencing as a collective with the eclipse that happened in Pisces. And I'm no astrologer. I am just very curious and interested in it. I think it definitely does affect all of us, and the energy is definitely something to look at. So if you haven't looked at astrology before and it's something you're like, what is everybody talking about with these signs and everything, I think it's kind of cool to like do your research, look into it. There's tons of videos online, and just a lot of people who talk about different things. So you can also chat GPT and see what they say too. I mean, chat GPT is, iffy sometimes, but I mean, it's usually right. So anyway, moving on. It did remind me though, of how we have to remember in Virgo season too. So, and these are like opposite type of energies. Pisces is more about surrender, dreamy type of energy, and Virgo is more about the doing and getting things done. This is as far as what I know. If you're an astrologer or really deeply into it, yeah, comment, let me know if there's anything you want to add. But what's coming to me, because in my life I am really trying to balance this surrender and this doing, and it reminded me, this is the energy that we're in, is knowing when to actually put action in and knowing when to let go. And this can be quite difficult to really figure out, especially I think on both sides, even if you're A-type personality or B-type, because maybe you're used to really letting go most of the time, so that's going to be your default, or you're used to doing all the time, so surrendering may be a little bit more difficult for you. So for me, what I've come up with is maybe some questions to really ask yourself. Or before I get through the questions, I want to get to like why we have these issues with that balancing surrender versus controlling a situation and trying to actually do something. Because I think it is having to understand whether or not you are forcing or it is actually aligned action. So you have where you force, and then you have where you do from aligned action. And you can understand like, okay, where is the lack of action coming from? And these are some ways that I thought of where lack of action could be coming from. And it could be self-sabotage, fear, imposter syndrome, or rejection. These are just a few ways that the lack of action that you're not doing, even though the action may be aligned, could come from these ways of being or thinking. So really check yourself if these are showing up. And once you can discern that, and these are some questions to maybe ask yourself to try to figure out how, if you're balancing the doing versus the surrendering. And these are the questions that I came up to ponder on. How does it feel in the body? This is my favorite question on most things that's going to come up for you. Most emotions, most answers, or whatever you're trying to discover. or figure out. I truly believe the answer is within. So, how does it feel in the body? Am I doing this because I feel I have to? Somebody told me to? Or because I feel led to? These are different energies that you can feel. So, for example, am I getting online and making this video because somebody said I needed to gain a certain amount of followers, so I have to get on here? Or do I feel led, and does it still feel fun to me, or am I not doing it because I am scared of what people say about me, and I feel I'm so much in overwhelm, but truly it's just because you're scared of, have a fear of getting online, or a fear of rejection, which was one of the first things I believe I mentioned in the first part of the video. Okay, another question to ask: am I anxiously doing this out of fear of the outcome? So that kind of really goes back to the other question too, but am I anxiously doing this out of fear of the outcome? Next question: what examples in my life has shown me where I can trust? So I think this is huge. Sometimes when we can just go back and maybe give ourselves some ways where we have shown ourselves that we can trust ourselves. And even in the opposite effect, maybe we've shown ourselves the opposite way because we chose the opposite. We chose another way that we didn't listen to our intuition. And I think this is still good because it kind of can tell you, okay, I felt that and I knew what I really felt that I wanted to do, but I did the opposite. So you know how that feels too. So I think both are really good examples to show you where you can trust. And the follow-up question after asking what examples in my life have shown me where I can trust, you can ask, how did I feel in those moments? And just reflecting on how you feel, you can kind of see or feel in your body right now, how are you feeling? To kind of assess, is the action aligned or if it's not in alignment? So these are some questions to ask, and you can always call on God, universe, however you like to source, whatever you like to say, highest self, creator, and ask for help in the discernment of this. You can even ask for a sign. However, don't sit there forever, just saying, oh, I'm still waiting on a sign, and you already know. So, because I understand, I've done this, and just sit on something because I'm waiting on a sign, and I already knew, like deep down on the inside, and or maybe that sign that you keep ignoring, or you receive a sign, but then you want another sign. Not to say that signs aren't always around, they're always coming through. I think synchronicities are always happening, especially when you start to really live heart-led. There's just all this magic that just starts to occur just randomly, and it's just very interesting to experience. So these are some questions. And sometimes when you're trying to figure things out, especially somebody who has severe anxiety or whatever, or a deep filler, and maybe the feelings and the sensations just feel like too much at the time. They just feel like too much. Now, it depends on the person. Some people may need to find some intentional movement. And sometimes in another scenario, or a person, personality, or it depends on the moment, may need the opposite, and just to sit in stillness and feel where these emotions are, these sensations, feeling these sensations, and just being with them. This will definitely depend, again, on the person, the situation, the personality type. It depends on different factors, and you can intuitively feel into what you may need at that moment. Okay, so these are some tools to help you throughout the season. And let me know if they resonate with you, especially since we're navigating between action and surrender. And I just love this because in my life right now is, like I said, like surrender is huge, but it's still like a lot of action, but there's still a lot of surrender. And it is interesting to find that balance between the two. So let me know what you think. I love to hear from you. Have a good night, evening, wherever you are, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.